Have you ever felt lonely while sitting in a room full of people? Not the kind of loneliness that comes from being physically alone. The deeper kind. The kind that shows up when you're surrounded by voices, laughter, conversations, and yet somehow it feels like you're standing behind invisible glass. You can see everyone. You can hear everyone. But it feels like nobody truly sees you. It's a strange feeling. Because when people think of loneliness, they imagine someone sitting by themselves. A person with no friends, no family, nobody to talk to. But some of the loneliest people on earth aren't alone at all. Some have friend groups, some have families, some have thousands of followers online. And yet they carry a quiet emptiness that follows them everywhere. Most people never talk about it, because loneliness has become something people are ashamed of. They think admitting they're lonely means they've failed somehow, so instead they smile. They laugh, they post pictures, they tell everyone they're fine, and little by little they become experts at hiding it. The problem is that hidden loneliness grows. It feeds on silence, it feeds on isolation, it feeds on the belief that you're the only person feeling this way. But you're not. In fact, millions of people are carrying the exact same feeling right now. The feeling of being misunderstood, the feeling of being disconnected, the feeling of watching everyone else move through life effortlessly, while you're struggling to find where you belong. And that feeling usually starts with a single question. Why am I different? Maybe you've asked yourself that before. Why do conversations seem harder for me? Why do I feel awkward when everyone else seems comfortable? Why does it feel like people understand each other so easily while I always feel slightly out of place? At first you think the answer is that something is wrong with you, but often that's not true. The real reason is much simpler. You notice your own struggles more than anyone else's. You live inside your own mind. You hear every insecurity, every fear, every doubt. Meanwhile, everyone else's struggles remain hidden. You only see the polished version, the edited version, the version they allow the world to see. It's like watching a movie of your mistakes while comparing it to someone else's highlight reel. Of course you'll feel behind. Of course you'll feel broken. But what you're comparing isn't reality. It's perception, and perception lies. One of the biggest lies loneliness tells is that you're the only one experiencing it. It convinces you that everyone else belongs somewhere. Everyone else has their people. Everyone else knows what they're doing. Everyone else has life figured out. But if you could read minds for just one day, you'd discover something shocking. The people you admire are often just as lost as you. The people who seem confident are often terrified. The people who seem happy are carrying struggles you know nothing about. Everyone is fighting battles you can't see. Everyone. That's part of being human. Yet we keep comparing our behind-the-scenes footage to everyone else's final product. And every time we do, loneliness grows a little stronger. Because comparison creates distance, not just from other people, from yourself. You start believing that who you are isn't enough, that you need to change, that you need to become someone else to be accepted. And so you begin wearing masks, a different personality for different situations, a different version of yourself depending on who's around. Eventually the mask becomes so normal that you forget you're wearing it. Then one day you wonder why nobody understands you. But how can someone understand a version of you that isn't real? The greatest irony is that the thing many people fear most is rejection. Yet in trying to avoid rejection, they reject themselves first. They hide their real thoughts, their real interests, their real dreams, their real personality. They trade authenticity for approval. And approval feels good for a little while, but it never lasts. Because deep down, you know, people aren't accepting the real you. They're accepting the character you've created. And that realization creates a loneliness that no amount of popularity can fix. Real connection begins where pretending ends. It begins when someone sees a part of the real you and stays. Not the perfect version. The real version, the messy version, the uncertain version, the human version. That's the kind of connection people spend their entire lives searching for. But finding it requires courage. Because authenticity always carries risk. The risk that someone won't understand. The risk that someone won't like what they see. The risk that someone will leave. But here's what many people never realize. The people who leave because you showed your true self were never connected to you in the first place. They were connected to the mask. And masks can never create genuine belonging. Only genuine performance. Belonging begins when you stop performing. When you stop auditioning for acceptance. When you stop asking Arduino, how do I make everyone like me? And start asking, how do I become comfortable being myself? That question changes everything. Because confidence isn't becoming someone else. Confidence is becoming comfortable with who you already are. And that's a journey. A long one. Sometimes painful. Sometimes confusing. But worth taking.